You're locked in now. Welcome to Bringing the Wood.
Come on now. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you at, beautiful people in the world. You know we got the pod going up on a Tuesday. Hey man, you already know what's gonna go down, man. It's your favorite podcast, it's your favorite sports podcaster. Welcome to the Bringing the Wood podcast. I am your host, D Wood. Thank y'all as always for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, to the Bringing the Wood production play, or the Bringing the Wood production page, so you can always be tapped in with the latest and greatest on Bringing the Wood podcast and all things Bringing the Wood. And as I get into it, let's get into it. I'm not gonna play too long. Y'all know I don't come here to put a build up. We straight into it. NFL updates. NFL's been kind of quiet. You got pro days finished up. We got top 30 visits about to start. A lot of players getting ready to get into their top 30 visits. Um, again, drafts right around the corner, less than a month away. We are in the month of April. We are really good in this thing. It's April 7th. We are in here. So literally less than 20 days. I want to say it's the 23rd, 22nd. I always kind of forget the days of the draft because they always push it back, and that kind of grinds my gears. But again, NFL is my love, man. I love football. That's my first love. So it's always good that even though it's the calm before the storm, we're about to get ready to get into it. But I want to start with a couple things. I just got a couple quick things I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is Dexter Lawrence requesting a trade. Big Sexy Dexy, as the league calls him, Sexy Dexy, big time All Pro defensive tackle of the New York Giants. Has came out and requested a trade. Him and his agent, well, his agent came out and said it, but they a group, so they did it together and came out and requested a trade. Dexter Lawrence not probably. Dexter Lawrence did have his worst season um, by far in his young career. Career lows in tackles, career low in sacks. He only had a half a sack all year. He did have a career high in interceptions with one. But again, career lows all over tackles, tackle for a loss, sacks, the entire deal. Obviously came out and requested a trade. He's got 2 years left on his deal, and he was at one time the highest paid D tackle, and then a lot of other D tackles got paid, and it's probably some of those D tackles not better than him in his eyes. So now you request that trade because they playing with your paper. So I ain't mad at that. I do think if he does become available, he will have a very, very high market. He's a very good player. Again, run stopper, can play 3-4, can play 4-3. Does have a little bit of like pass rush ability to him. He will rush that passer just a smidge though, if you need him to. So. But again, this is a situation that we'll keep our eye on. Figure out what the Giants are going to do. The draft is coming soon. If you do want to trade him, do you want to move him before the draft? I feel like you could definitely get a Quentin Williams type deal. Cowboys got a Did they get a first round pick for Quentin Williams? I think they traded a first rounder for Quentin Williams. I think that's why I think they did, or if not a second, I think he's somewhere around that area, first, second round pick for Dexter Lawrence for sure. He's a very, very good player in the league. One of the better, at least 5 to 7 defensive tackles in the league. But I'll definitely keep y'all updated. He just spoke out on this yesterday, so it's an ongoing situation. Obviously, he could get paid in 2 3 days, and by next week, this all water under the bridge. Because most of these dudes just want that bread and that security and that comfortability, all those type of things. But again, we'll keep y'all posted. Next up, I want to talk about something that I missed. I don't know if y'all been in the sports world like I've been. I don't know if y'all pay attention to combines, in particular the HBCU showcase, the HBCU combine. The HBCU Combine and the NFL International Players Association, which always brings over players from another country to kind of put them on the fast track to get to the NFL to make it to the professionals. The best player that's came out of the international pathway as of today will be Jordan Mailata, left tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's a Pro Bowl, all pro caliber left tackle, and played rugby his whole life and got into the NFL, and that was kind of where his career started as an NFL player. So the NFL has been doing this for a while now. It's a bunch of players that are in the NFL right now from the international players Association, and they're in the league and they're playing. But again, Malata might be the best, and this guy Umar Barnard might be. Let's just say I'm not gonna say he's gonna be the next big thing, but all the scouts are literally saying this guy has never played football. He's from a small country in Nigeria, never played football, just played soccer and other sports like that. Came out, I guess somebody seen him. And when you see this guy's physique, I should have had a picture of him. I should have had his combine workout. But y'all go do your homework yourself. This guy wild at the combine. And I'm gonna run y'all a couple of his stats he ran at the combine. Again, first of all, 6'4" and a half, 306 pounds. That's the start. So he's already a nice size to be a defensive tackle. Here's where things get interesting. This man has 6% body fat. He is built like he's not this player, but we talking about built like Aaron Donald. I don't know if y'all ever seen Aaron Donald. That man don't got no gut. That man don't have no flab. That man got a six pack at 298 pounds, 300 pounds. And so does Mr. Barnard. And again, at with that 6% body fat, 39-inch vertical, which would have been the highest at the combine and one of the highest ever for a defensive tackle. Um, he got 10. He had a 10-10 broad jump, which was 4 inches. The next closest person was 4 inches away from his broad jump, more than any D tackle. He bench pressed 225 31 times, which would have been top 5 in the combine. He also ran 4.66, which would have been the fastest out of all defensive tackles at the combine. So genetically, he's a freak. They gave him a 10.00 athletic score. That's the highest score you can get at the combine. They gave him a 10.00 athletic score, the highest score you can get at a combine. Again, scouts are literally saying he's going to go anywhere between round 5 and round 7. He will not go undrafted like people thought he was, because you can't let those measurables just go undrafted. They're calling him, and again, it's all to pump up the league, pump him up, help him get some publicity, help him maybe get drafted. But they're saying this guy is the Wimbenyama of the NFL, and he's not even in the NFL yet. But with those type of numbers from that type of human being, and again, that man is cut like an action figure. He's a solidly built dude. He was very explosive in the workouts. And again, I can see why teams are interested. One scout said, "Yeah, I don't see him making it past the 6th round." So again, he's a freak of nature, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if y'all got to see anything. If you haven't, go look him up. Again, out of Nigeria, out of Nigeria, uh, no NFL experience, no football experience, finna literally get it out the mud. And I'm excited to see where he goes, if he goes, and what he does. So I'll keep my close eye. Got to keep my close eye on Mr. Barnard to see. I feel like the world wants to know what he can do, and if he gets on the right team with the right coaching, because that's what a lot of football is, especially when you got that type of just natural athleticism. It's about finding the right coach who understands how to really do his job at a high level, and get there and get the most out of him. I don't know which team that would be. A lot of teams have some good defensive lines and defensive line coaches who develop players well, but I think he's a special project, and I do think you're gonna have to take your time with him because he's such raw talent. But again, it's a guy you gotta get your hands on. You don't those numbers don't grow on trees, ladies and gentlemen. Those numbers for a player like that caliber, don't just happen every day. It won't happen every day. It don't happen every day. Those are the few things I have for NFL. Again, the NFL is real chill right now. We got a bunch of top 30 visits coming up, so just kind of keep that on the low. I'll bring on some of my analysts that I've already had on in the past, and we'll talk about who they having on their top 30 visits, and who they expect these guys to draft. Again, I had a few guys on. We already talked about just mainly the first and the second round. We'll go a little bit deeper into the draft as we see teams top 30 visits, because your top 30 visits, it's not 30 dudes going in the first round. You're interviewing 30 dudes who you are like, I need these dudes at some point in the draft on my team. So don't just think of the top 30 as it's literally you doing the 30 first rounders. Like, nah, some of them dudes, you're not drafting because where you draft at. So now you kind of interview players depending on where you draft at and where the draft boards and your draft gurus and your directors of scout and player personnel, where they got these dudes ranked at per round, and you fill those in, and that's how the top 30 visits work. So we'll definitely get into the top 30 visits to see what teams are eyeing, what teams think they needs are as the draft slowly approaches. Next, we're gonna get into the NBA news and notes. It's been a couple things going down. I'm gonna run through a couple of them and then I'll get into the more ones I want to put a quarter in the meter and sit there for a little. Let me check my notes. The first one I want to talk about is Giannis. Giannis, again, I talked about him on Sunday, talking about how he ain't hurt and he want to play. And he's eyeing a return before the season ends. And again, season ends this week. But again, he's got all his brothers on his team. And he wants to play with his brothers. He wants to get on the floor and dribble the ball and run plays and throw alleys. Thanasis and Alex had a little alley combination to him. He want to get in on that. He wants to be able to, man, that's something you can only dream about, bro. Like, the same thing LeVar Ball was preaching, having all his boys on the same team. Giannis, like, bro, I did it. Like, I literally did it. Like, all my brothers then passed through here or made it to the league. And you can't knock that, man. That's how you that's and again, when you play in Milwaukee and it ain't, they ain't got much to show. And you don't want them a chip, I bring your brothers on. You got a nephew finna come up out in this thing in a minute. We'll draft him and sign him too. Long as you gonna take care of us. But again, I do think this is the end of the road for Giannis as a Milwaukee Buck. I do think, it's definitely do all you can to get your brothers on, get them a couple checks, get them that NBA money, and build generational wealth. So I'm excited for that. But I do think that would be dope for him to get on the floor with his brothers and them have a moment like that before the season ends. That would for sure be pretty tight. And another thing about the Giannis news, Giannis came out and confirmed that they did discuss a potential deal with the Knicks during the trade deadline. We figured it fell back. They will revisit it, I'm assuming, as the season ends. So I does think the trade does depend on what the Knicks do. If the Knicks make the finals, you know what I'm saying? Then I don't think they're gonna want to trade for Giannis. And but again, if they go out, they one and done, or it's another, out before the finals, then yeah, you're gonna have to go ahead and potentially revisit that trade. Try to get Giannis on the squad, and definitely him and Brunson try to run a crazy pick and roll with each other. If these things hand out. But again, once Giannis becomes available, I don't think the Knicks are gonna be the only team interested in Giannis and his services. Because again, this is one of the top 10 players in the league when fully healthy. He still plays on both sides of the floor, and it's hard to coach that. So excited to see what happens if Giannis get moved or when Giannis gets moved. Also, I want to talk about the other day. What was that? Yesterday. Shout out to my boy Cooper Flack. Them Duke boys, I'm telling y'all, get you a Duke player. Get you a Duke guy, and your team will be all right. Cooper Flag is trying to I thought Colin Knippel was gonna win Rookie of the Year. Cooper Flag is making a late push. He had 2 40-point games, or 2 games scoring over 40. Uh, 96 points in 2 games, all records. First rookie to ever score 40 on a LeBron James led team. Again, most 40-point games by a teenager. First back-to-back 40-point game by a rookie since Allen Iverson. The boy Cooper Flag putting on now. He's figuring it out. He's getting his bearings together. Obviously, the Mavericks aren't successful right now, but the Mavericks are in a good place after trading Luka Doncic. Is Cooper Flag Luka Doncic? No. But is he a franchise player, and is he worth the first round first pick? And is he going to be an all-star and a very, very good player and a leader and a face of the franchise? Hell yeah. So congratulations to Dallas on, stumbling into that after trading Luka. But again, Kyrie Irving come back healthy next year. I'm pretty sure they'll make some more moves. They're gonna definitely try to build this team around Cooper Flag because he showed that he could be the guy. And then again, to continue on with the Lakers, Luka Doncic has already came out and said he's gonna go to Europe to go have run tests and get treatment on his grade 2 left hamstring strain to attempt to try to be ready I'm gonna say for the playoffs. I'm not even gonna say when. I'm gonna just say to be ready for some point in the playoffs. If they can make it past the first round without him, because I really don't believe Luca or Austin Reeves will play in the first round of the playoffs, and that just doesn't seem like they can win without those two guys. Man, they've been very very good. This team was on a very very high, but yeah, that injury's kind of tough. But again, Luca's gonna go overseas, get a second opinion, and try to handle his business. I'm also want to talk about Dusty May, and that's the Michigan head coach. Shout out to Michigan winning national championship. We'll get into that as we get further down. But the head coach, he might be an NBA interest target. Multiple teams, even before they won a national championship, uh, they were talking to him. They were interested about him. They had his name in the hat last year, um, as a coach. But now winning a national title, do you leave? He's sitting pretty right now as a champion. So we'll see how that works. But definitely um interesting. Another interesting one that I wasn't expecting. Mike Malone. Mike Malone was hired as the new coach of North Carolina. And as a Duke Blue Devil fan, I don't care for North Carolina or anything North Carolina. But as the guy who talks about sports podcasts, these are things you got to talk about. But I won't say anything bad about Mike Malone because he is a good coach. His history and his record shows it. Again, who was the Kings coach from 2013 to 2014. Then he parlayed that to the Denver job in 2015. He did that for about 10 years. He was the coach there for about 10 seasons. Um, Ending and combining with a 510 and 394 combined record, wins and losses, which is a 56% win percentage. So he's above average when it comes to winning. Won a championship in 23, I think that was. So again, great coach. Now you go to UConn. He already was a leader of men. He was already good at coaching guys up. So this will be a good look for them. He'll have a lot of experience. And again, that that NBA background and being a head coach, being an above average head coach on the NBA level doesn't mean you're gonna be a great college coach, but it definitely gives you the nod to be like, okay, this guy might be able to help turn us around. So excited to see that again. Mike Malone now the coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels. I didn't even want to say their name, but congratulations to Mike Malone. Congratulations to North Carolina on getting another good coach to come in and try to turn that franchise or turn that program back to where it is, and that's national prominence. Got a couple more fun things I want to talk about before I get into the nitty gritty. Talk about rapper J. Cole has signed a contract to play in China for the Niang Monkey Knights or Monkey Kings. Huh. Shout out to Monkey King. But y'all know he did it in NBA, had the NBA Africa. He went over there and hooped. He's a very, very avid hooper. Very a very solid hooper. As far as like a non-NBA player who be hooping, J. Cole is one of those dudes who does that. So shout out to him going out there to go, you know what I'm saying? Still have fun while being a rapper and doing your thing. Still find time to do what you love and love what you do. And hoop is one of those things that he definitely loved. He always hooping in his spare time. To even to the fact where he'll take time off to go hoop for a professional team. So excited to see Cole World out there putting up jumpers again and doing this thing. So that'll be a fun watch. What else I got? Also, shout out to the you see my flag back. My Kings thing. Shout out to the Stockton Kings on making it today to another finals. They'll be taking on Greensboro. Series starts on Wednesday out in Greensboro because they the 2 seed and they made it. And then the Kings were the 3 seed and made it. Knocked off the South Bay Lakers to make it to the finals. Finals will be a game of 3. Stockton Kings won the championship last year, so they trying to go back to back. That'll be dope. I'm gonna be in the building Friday, 7 p.m. I'm gonna try to get in there. If them tickets ain't $3 million, they be trying to price you for these G League playoff games. Now I ain't never been to the finals, so we gonna see how this works. But I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna make that a mission of mine, man. Make sure I give y'all some cameos. I'm in that building, trying to see them boys go for a second one. It'll be even better if they win game 1 on Wednesday and then come to Stockton for game 2 to close out because it's only a best of 3 series in the G League finals. So that could be fun, man. To see them boys win it all like that, that'd be dope. It'll be lit. It'd be a fun time. They do a little parade too for them boys. So yeah, that would be very, very interesting. But shout out to the Stockton Kings on making it to back G League finals. My boy, I forgot to tell y'all, Cam Boozer, player of the year. If I didn't tell y'all, I'm telling y'all again. But Cam Boozer, player of the year, fifth freshman to ever win the award. Shout out to Cam Boozer. Yep, yep, yep. Bam, check, check, check. And now I got two things that I want to talk about before we get ready to move on. And the first one, Steph Curry played the other day, y'all. They played the Rockets. Curry looked good. Came off the bench for starters. Came off the bench, which was a surprise. Dropped 29 points in 26 minutes, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 steal, 11 for 22 from the field, which was 52%, 5 for 10 from the 3-point line. It felt like he didn't miss a beat for real. And that's why he wanted to come back because with him on the floor, even though they lost and he almost hit the game winner to win that game. Because when Curry's on the floor and he's playing well, they got a chance to beat anybody. Because he like that, man. Again, if they, make it and end up getting Oklahoma City, yeah, we don't see them beating OKC, but it's gonna be more funner to watch OKC play the Warriors with Curry than it is without him. And that's how Curry looks at it. Like, bro, we got a better chance with me on the floor than me not on the floor. And I respect that because Curry's a competitor. And if it's games to be played and I can play and I'm healthy enough to play, I want to play. That go back to like what we said about Giannis as well. Like, man, once I'm healthy and the docs say I'm cleared, put me in the mix, man. I'm trying to play. I play this game. I don't just play. I play this because I love it. It's not just, this is my life. So I'm trying to get in where I fit in. But again, he had a great game. And I think it'll be more of the same. I think he'll figure it out and again try to make they're in the play in right now, but it was still like 5 games left, 6 games left. So anything can change in those games. The West is real tight down there at the bottom from 7 to 10. So it should be a tight race down to the very, very end. So we'll see. Next. This one caught me by surprise. Got this message yesterday as well. Cade Cunningham could return. They said he could return. Dave even came out and said Cade Cunningham could potentially return before the season ends. So that was what really caught my eye. I'm like, okay, maybe he come back second round to playoffs, something like that. They like, nah, he might come back before the playoffs start, play a game or two, and then roll into the playoffs. Which I'm all for. I'm a big Cade Cunningham fan. Motorcade, it's my guy. He's an MVP candidate. And he's been balling out this year. Almost about some career highs. 24 points, which is 14th in the league. 9.9 assists, so almost 10 assists, which is second in the league. 5 rebounds, shooting over 45% from the field. Uh, just a really, really good player. Obviously, Detroit clinched the number 1 seed. But they're gonna definitely need him, if they wanna go far, if they wanna advance, if they wanna have a date with Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals, they're gonna need Cade Cunningham. Obviously, Jalen Duren has been playing out of his mind as well, when he's on the floor. That's why he made an All-Star game as well. So, uh, Detroit has a really good team, but again, this won't be a walk in the park if he is able to come back because cardio is getting he running and conditioning and jumping jacks and running wind sprints. None of that compares to actually getting on the court and dribbling that ball and having somebody guard you and defend you and move around and really trying to stop you. It's a completely different um element. It's a completely different animal. So I do think it's going to take him some time to get his bearings together. So you definitely want to hope you get a good matchup. You do not want to get the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets are playing great basketball of late. LaMelo Ball has figured out I don't have to get 40 now. I got 2 dudes in Colin Knippel and in Brandon Miller, our former round 1 pick 2. They scoring points. They both averaging like 18 to 20 points as well. So they almost got 3 dudes averaging 20 points. Like that's a good look. So I don't think they want to play Charlotte in that first round with no Cade. That's what I'm saying. Or or a hampered Cade, because they gonna test you. They gonna run. They like a. It sound crazy. They like a poor team's Boston, bro. They shoot a bunch of threes, but they make them at a high clip, so it don't look like a bad thing. They play scrappy defense. You can't really tell because it started so late, but like the defense that they have been playing of late, they're a really good team right now, and I think they'll be a fun team to watch when the playoff comes. So excited for that. But again, if Cade can come back, that's a big look for Cade. Big look for Pistons fans will kind of rejoice, like, man, okay, we got a chance now to actually go out and make a final. So good luck to Cade, speedy recovery. I really do hope he's able to play because you want all the best players out there when the playoffs come. So it's best on best. So we don't have to end the year with a what if. Well, what if he was healthy? Or what if he would have played? What if he didn't get nicked up? And those are always the worst scenarios. But hey, man, if they can get healthy at the right time, and we can be in for a hell of a playoffs this year in the NBA. Next, we're gonna run through the slate of games today. Talk about Brooklyn Nets taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. You know, my Brooklyn boys is whew, you see my Brooklyn thing right there too. But yeah, we doing bad right now, 19 and 59. Again, we'll have a top 7 pick. But Nets King, I mean not Nets Kings, Nets Bucks. You know, I'm taking Brooklyn. I'll be a fool now to the Bucks week 2. So we got a chance to beat them. Warriors Kings, definitely taking the Warriors in that one. Curry back and get a chance to get his bearing together. I think that'll be a really, really um fun game. The Kings and the Warriors. It ain't a rivalry, but it's a rivalry. So it's fun. And I'm excited to see Curry back again, take the floor and get his second game under his belt and continue to, get his cardio and his win together. We also got the Lakers and the Thunder. When the Lakers had Luca and Reeves, they still got blapped by 30 before they got hurt. So I'm taking the Thunder again. I'm taking Shea to score 20 points every single time. But yeah, I'm taking the Thunder over the Lakers. We got the Bulls and the Wizards. I think I want to take the Wizards on this one. I know they've been losing a lot, but I think I want to take the Wizards in this game. They at the house, so I'll take the Wizards at home. We also got Timberwolves Pacers. Got to take the T Wolves in that game. We got Heat versus Raptors. I'm taking the Heat as well. Hornets, Celtics. That's crazy. I just talked about those teams and they play each other again. I'm gonna take Boston. No, Boston's at the house, but I want to say Charlotte already went to Boston and beat them once this year. But that's another reason why I don't think they'll do it twice. So I'm taking Boston at home, and then we also got Utah and the Pelicans. Shit, they could tie. They can tie for real. Uh, you know, Zion's been disappointing because of injuries and off the field drama. I don't think he's been able to or off the court drama. My apologies. I don't think he's really been able to lock in like that and really focus on his game. And it kind of shows in the Pelicans record shows. In the last 2 games, Mavericks and the Clippers. I'm taking the Clippers. They're going to be a playoff team. Kawhi's been playing extremely well. He done ran off about 20, 30 games straight without missing. So I think this team will be really good when it's time. They'll be a good team to play. Darius Garland's figuring it out now. He's been becoming more facilitator and being that playmaker that they need when Kawhi ain't trying to do his thing. So that's a fun look. And then we finish the night with the Rockets and the Suns. I'm gonna take the Suns in this one. Suns are at home, but the Rockets and the Suns to me they're about the same team. Got a couple superstars and then a bunch of young dudes just running around crazy with like a vet or 2 on the team. But those are the games for today. Again, make sure y'all, tune into some games so y'all can always be up to date when I break them down. Coming back to y'all on Thursday. Now we'll get into the juiciness. Women's national championship was on Sunday. It was a landslide. UCLA dominated the game literally from start to finish. What they like to call a wire to wire victory. I don't think they trailed at any point in the game. I don't think it was any point in the game. And the final score ended up being 79-51. They was up between 26 and 30 points basically since like the second end of the second quarter. I truly believe South Carolina played their national championship that week before versus Auriemma and UConn. and they gave everything they had to go out there and upset the powerhouse, the top team, the number 1 seed, the 54 game win streak. I think they put and not in a bad way, it just happens like that sometimes. You gotta get up so much to play a team like that, that sometimes you just give it all, and then the next game you hit a wall. Unfortunately, the next game was a national championship, and it was a day later or 2 days later, and it was bad. It was bad, but again, congratulations to UCLA on winning their first ever national title, and I hate that I don't have their coach name right in front of me, bro, but she's been their coach for, like, 20 years, dog. So congratulations to her. But again, this is about the girls that played in the game. Gabriella Jaquez, I called her Jamie Jaquez on the last podcast. I want to apologize for that. But Gabriella Jaquez, sister of Jaime Jaquez, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. She didn't win most outstanding player because that went to Lauren Betts because she was the most outstanding player throughout the entire tournament run, but she wasn't the best player in the championship game. It was Gabriella, but most outstanding player because they go through the whole tournament goes to Lauren Betts, who ended up having 14 points and 11 rebounds, 2 blocks, and was a defensive menace again. Again, bro, they called her out all year for her defense, for her whole career. They called her out for her defense, and again, her senior year, last year, she put it together, started playing amazing defense, and that's how they go out there and win a national championship. She shut the opposed down. Uh, Edwards, Tessa Johnson, Raven Johnson, uh, Maker, the freshman, not Maker. She had 14 points, so she was like the only. It was only 2 girls in double figures, and the freshman was one of those players. South Carolina didn't have no answer. 5 women scored in double figures for UCLA. Kiki Rice had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Filled up the stat sheet. Another senior. Again, all 5 scored double figures. It was a route. It was a route. The girls handle business. It sucks for Don Staley, but what been to 3 of the last 4 national title games, I wanna say. I think that's what it was, and I don't think it's gonna stop there. She still got a bunch of talented girls on that roster. Again, a lot of good players leaving just like UCLA, but the cycle continues. Great teams remain great. You recruit well, and they'll be right back here again. Again, shout out to both teams, UCLA and South Carolina. But again, shout out to UCLA, a dominating win, and again, getting it done, man, and winning a first ever national title. So now they can link up with the boys and say, "Hey, we got one too now." So, good luck, congratulations to the Lady Bruins. Oh, but then on Monday, Big Dogs played, and we talked about this on Sunday. And I asked y'all who y'all had. Some people told me who they had. Some people didn't say nothing. I picked Michigan, and Michigan went out there and did their thing. It was a close game. I think it would have been more of a blowout if Michigan would have played a little bit better. They were definitely flat. 0 for 8 from the 3-point line in the first half. I think they finished the game with only 2 3-pointers made. If I told you that they was gonna lose the rebound battle, they was gonna lose the assist battle, they was gonna have less 3-pointers made. If I told you all of this, you would have been like, man, you kind of sound like they gonna beat them. But Michigan's calling card all year has been defense. Their defense leads to offense. 6 steals and 6 blocks in the national championship for the Michigan Wolverines. Hell of a game. Again, defense showed up. Um, Cade, the transfer from North Carolina, 19 points, led the team in scoring. Had to step his game up with Yaxel Lindenberg being compromised, and you've seen that. I think he had 2 points in the first half or 4 points, but he ended the game 13 points. So again, he picked it up in the second half. Still wasn't perfect, but played great defense. Can literally guard 1 through 5. When you watch Michigan, they just switch on everything. Just switch. We don't just switch. Just switch. Cut it off, switch. Cut it off, switch. And it makes it so hard because you're trying to get a matchup, but there is no matchup because they all match up. And again, in UConn, Dan Hurley is an X's and O'er, and UConn's a resilient team. So they never went away. And I kept saying the only way you're gonna beat Michigan is to hit threes and hit mid ranges. And UCLA, I'm not UCLA, and UConn was doing just that for the majority of the game. hitting a bunch of threes and hitting a bunch of mid ranges and getting to the free throw line. And that kind of worked in their favor. But I mean, you can only shoot threes and shoot shots for so long before eventually we're gonna start the pressure on. Now y'all gotta drive into the trees. And it just made it harder and harder as the game went on. I definitely thought that UConn definitely played well. They stayed close all game. I think they got down by the most, maybe like 13 points. And then they would just chip right back away at it. Chip right back away at it. Again, Alex Caravan probably gonna go down as an all-time UConn great. Two-time champion, almost was a three-time champion. He ended up with 17 points, 11 rebounds, made some big shots late in the game to kind of keep them close. Terrence Reed Jr. was compromised, but again, still had a double-double, 13 points, 14 rebounds. But I think he had that on about 15 shots. So again, the interior defense of Michigan was legit. And you got three dudes, 6'9", 6'10" or taller, and can switch on everything. But again, same thing, Michigan. They dominated, man. They dominated. Morez Johnson, 12 points, 10 rebounds. And then, a couple stops late. And there it was, dog. And Michigan is champs. And I do want to say, hey, he said, Yaxel Lindenberg said that they were trying to be the greatest Michigan team ever. I know people going to say the Fab Five was I'm going to say they were a more talented team as far as like the names. But when you go out there and you only lose 3 games all year and you win a national championship and you dominate the tournament, they only had one close game, and that was the championship game. Other than that, every margin of victory was 14 or more points. That's sheer domination from Michigan. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the Fab Five history before I just come out and say that the Mercenary Five. That's what Yaxel called themselves. The Mercenary Five is better than the Fab Five. They got a championship, so if you wanted to just say they better because they won it all, hey, I can't knock that because what you play for? You play to win. How you gonna win if you ain't right within? So I can't be mad at somebody for saying that, but I'm gonna go do a little research. I'm gonna really look into the Fab Five year and what they did. Obviously, we know all the great players that was on the team, but I just kind of want to see how their year was. Was it that dominant like this Michigan team? But again, if so, then I'll be like, pump your brakes. But if not, again, this might be the greatest Michigan team ever because at the end of the day, they went out and got the chip. So that's what you play for. That's really what you play for to win that chip. I was very, very impressed with those guys. Great work. Congratulations to Michigan. Congratulations to Hurley and the UConn boys on runner-up. Again, season's over now. We're gonna slowly start to transition into the NBA draft. NBA draft combine. It don't stop. Again, half these dudes that we watched in the tournament gonna be playing in the NBA very, very soon. I told y'all with a headline class of, hear me out, 7 to 10 true freshmen. And it just all depends on who says they're gonna come out. Some of them kids could come out and they end up being like pick 9, 10, 11, 12. Or you can stay and you might not be a first round pick later, but you just be a better basketball player when you get to the NBA. And I've always been a guy who's felt like that when it comes to specifically the NBA. If you're not gonna be a lottery pick, and I'm saying lottery, I'm even say top 10. If you're not gonna be a top 10 pick, you should really think about coming out. I know how college works. It's a bunch of freshmen coming in every year, and freshmen come in to play. They don't come in to sit on the bench because you can do one and done. So I know a lot of guys will go to the league because they don't want to transfer sometimes because some freshman coming in that's gonna take their spot because he was a 5 star. So it kind of makes sense sometimes like that. But if that's the case, man, stay, grind, work on your game. I think it's safer. Like if you ain't finna be a top pick, and again, I ain't hating, get your money. But if your game don't develop fast enough, you won't get another big check like that. You won't get a check. You'll be out the league in 3, 4 years. Because that's one thing I can say about the league. Like, if the development arrow ain't pointing up, your butt gonna be in the G League real soon. And it's a bunch of dudes in the G League who was first round pick, round 1, pick 23, round 1, pick 19, round 1, pick 32. that are in the G League and been in the G League 4 or 5 years because they came, because they came out as a freshman in the back end. Now you play for a superstar team. Now you done got drafted by teams that's making the playoffs. So now, if you're not good enough right away, you're gonna ride the pine because you're not gonna play in these winning moments because these are winning basketball teams. We are winning teams. We pick in the back for a reason. And now we get you. And if you don't develop fast enough, you're gonna get traded, you're gonna get moved. And once you start getting traded and moved, your value go down, whether you believe it or not. And now teams trusting you less. So when they bring you in, you're gonna play less minutes. You're gonna have a lesser role than what you already had. So to all the youth and the youngsters out there in college getting ready to make that decision, I'm gonna tell you to think about it real hard. Um, and just think about those dudes who did a year or two in college and are, solid players in the league. Some not superstars. Some of these dudes are still household names. One of my favorite ones is to always say is Kyle Kuzma, man. I think he did 3 years at the University of Utah. He could have came out his freshman year and probably been a first round pick. Stayed this 3 years, became a back end first round pick anyway. And now he's got a good career still in the league. He's been playing. Jordan Poole was another one, did 3 years, and still had to go sit in the G League for a hot second and develop. And again, became a serviceable player with a decent career. It's a lot of other guys like that as well. But those are just some of the guys right off the top of the dome. But we got a bunch of dudes who, again, do 2 and 3 years in college to really develop their game and fine tune it. But again, I don't think it's a wrong answer on that because some people's lives are different. Sometimes financial is an issue. So it's like, bro, I can't wait. They telling me if I get drafted in the first round, I can get this amount of money. I can get my family out of poverty. So like different situations are for different people. Um, but again, man, I just believe if you're not gonna be a top 10 pick, you should think about it, especially your development. If you think at the school you at, you're getting better, they're developing you better. Trust that. Go ahead and ride the course, get a little bit of that more NIL money now, and then go to the league and be a more productive player to where as soon as you get drafted, you could be an impact player right away. Hence, Kyle Kuzma came in and was a factor on this team right away as a rookie because he had a lot of basketball experience. It's like NFL, bro. They don't want no quarterback who only started 15 games. They don't want players who haven't started a lot of games because it's like that means you haven't really seen anything. That means I don't think you really can adjust to what you're seeing on the field. I think it's the same thing for hoop. If you ain't played a lot of basketball, how can you be good at it? Like, how can I trust you out there if you don't have a lot of experience? How can I trust you to give you this money and make you this franchise player, give you the keys to this car when you don't have the experience? You know what I'm saying? So that's just some food for thought. That's my thought on the draft because we're getting ready to get into, again, the NBA draft. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be some freshmen who probably could help their career by staying another year or two. We're gonna come out early because again, man, that NBA money is guaranteed and it's nice. But again, all money ain't good money. Sometimes you need to chase that long money than just that little quick money, man. But again, I ain't the one to judge. Get it how you live. And that's another episode, y'all. This was one of my shorter episodes. I appreciate everybody who continues to tune in and support your boy. Um, I truly am thankful for everybody, to everybody who reach out to me, to people who comment on the YouTube, who comment on my Facebook, who comment on Twitter, Instagram. Continue to do it. I'm gonna try to always respond. Sometimes it ain't timely because it's how life be lifing. But my goal is to literally respond to any comments, especially sports related content. I'm not gonna respond to no BS. I'm not one of those type of dudes. But man, if we talking sports, even if it becomes a little, not a debate, but we both want to speak our piece. I'm with that too. I'm not really a big arguer of sports. Only time I argue sports is if there's a right or wrong answer. Like if there's a yes or a no answer, or if there's like a factoid to an answer, then yeah, we can have those. But if it's like a bias, like I feel this way, you feel that way, like I don't try to change people's opinions on things that aren't fact based. You get me? Like I'm not gonna tell you like that if you catch my drift. But again, love, peace, hair grease. Love, live life in Tupac. You already know, man, to Bringing the Wood podcast. Again, make sure y'all subscribe to Bringing the Wood Productions on YouTube to can stay up with the latest and greatest. And again, it's the Bringing the Wood podcast. I'm the host, D Wood. And on this podcast, I do my thing. And y'all know what else I do. I just brought the wood. Peace.
You've been locked into Bringing the Wood. No soft takes, no watered down debates. If it's in the game, we bring it head on. Until next time, stay locked in.